Hello and welcome to the full first episode of the 6th season of Backtracking. We begin with System of a Down's first album, System of a Down. Released in 1998, it would come out through American and Columbia Records, and it was produced by the band themselves alongside the man himself, Rick Rubin. So I don't really have a lot to say about this one's background that I didn't cover from my very brief history video, so let's just dive right in. The album starts with the song Sweet Pea, spelled S-U-I-T-E, and hyphen then P-E-E, and you know, if you're not familiar with System of a Down style by this point, should you even be watching this? I mean, you probably shouldn't be watching it anyway, as you presumably have better shit to do, but I'll try to explain it as best as I can. Basically, System of a Down have always revelled in being one of the most unique alternative metal bands with emphasis on both the alternative and metal part of that genre. It's weird that this was their debut and they decided to do whatever the fuck they wanted, another reason why Rick Rubin is one of the best in the game. I mean, yeah, instrumentally it throws haymakers, with Darren and Chavez riffs complementing each other wonderfully, John Delmone is solid behind the kit, but of course, Serge's voice is, well, it's amazing. As always, he adds a lot of character and personality to his delivery of the lyrics, which are mostly themed around anti-war, anti-censorship and suicide. And the production doesn't lack either. I mean, this thing is 14 years on and it still sounds great today, and it's aged surprisingly well for a genre and the time period that it came out in. My favourite song on the album goes to Peephole. SOAD's self-titled album is frantic, weird and brilliant, and it's a hell of a way to kick off this season, I reckon. Next is the band's second album, Toxicity. Released in 2001, it'll come out through the same label, and it was produced by Rick Rubin, Serge Tankian and Darren Malakian. It also contains my first song in Chop Suey, and it was also my first full SOAD album before I started for this episode, so woo! Anyway, after their self-titled became a huge hit, they tore their asses off to promote it. They were even so thankful that they'd gotten so many fans in the time between that they decided to show that thanks by holding a concert in 2001 where they planned to launch Toxicity, the album itself. But the show got overcrowded, so the police cancelled it, leading to a massive riot. Not to mention the fact that this album would drop a mere 5 days before the 9/11 attacks, so yeah. Still, the album itself was successful and it's easy to see why. It starts with the song Prison Song, and we already get a sort of darker sound from the band as well as a more experimental one. The typically heavy riffs are all still there, but there's bits of jazz, Middle Eastern music, and folk. They even use keyboards, banjos, and sitars at times. But it works, and they do a lot to serve the crushing riffage. Lyrically, it goes heavy too, with themes like police brutality, how fucking topical these days, sex, drug abuse, and the CIA. The structure is helped by the new stuff that the band tries, and it fits in oddly naturally, which doesn't happen often when bands do this, especially this early in their career. And yes, production-wise it's great too, bearing the album's bones in the best ways and letting so much of it just breathe, with the band themselves firing off on all cylinders as well. My favourite song goes to Forest. I mean, yeah, Toxicity improves what the band cultivated on their debut, adding weird stuff that fits in well, and it feels well realised and really fleshed out. Next is the band's third album, Steal This Album. Released in 2002, it came out through the same labels, and it was produced by Rick Rubin and Darren Malakian. So yeah, Toxicity was a big success despite the circumstances surrounding it, and they got to tour with big bands for a little while. In late 2001, some unreleased cuts from Toxicity went up online, and the fans called this collection of tracks Toxicity 2. The band were obviously upset by the leak, so they named what would have been Toxicity 2 to Steal This Album as a parody and reflection of trolls who leak music online. They even made the CD burnable and wrote on it in felt tip because fuck you, their System of a Down. Anyway, the album itself. It starts with the song Chicken Stew, which I think is a song about pizza, so it's nice to see that the band haven't changed a lot. In fact, the album's overall style doesn't feel as experimental as Toxicity did, but it was only just barely a year after Toxicity came out, so the band probably didn't have a lot of time to add in a lot else. Which is fine because, for as simple as it is, it still sounds really good. The guitar riffs in particular are still thick and heavy, with Darren just playing whoever the hell he wants and it all sounds great, and obviously the drumming and bass work are on point too, and Serge's characteristic performance shows through brilliantly as he covers topics like war, government, food, and David Hasselhoff. I'm not joking. The production is good too, with Rick showing up as always and letting the band just have fun in general. My favourite song goes to ADD, or in brackets, American Dream Denial. Smart. Still, this album is worth stealing, and the band's signature style bleeds through along with the usually great lyrics and top tier production. Next is the band's fourth album, Hypnotize. Fuck, damn it. I got that completely fucked up. Next is the band's fourth album, Mesmerize. Released in 2005, it will come out through the same label and be produced by the same people as last time. So this is technically the first half of a double album, the other half being Hypnotize, but they'll be done in separate paragraphs, so yeah. Anyway, Mesmerize. I don't have a lot of background for this album, so we'll just get right to the tracks, and it starts with an intro song titled Soldier Side Intro, which leads to the first actual song after that, titled BYOB. Now, as many people know, BYOB is one of the band's most popular songs, and it also signifies a new approach on the album, which is more vocal time split up between Serge and Darren, letting the latter shine through especially. And man, the band are not afraid to get weird on this one. Well, weirder. The instrumental work on this one is as solid as you would expect, with the band again keeping things nice and strange, even using new key compositions that they never tried before. The album as a whole pulls out a lot of new stuff even for a band who do that regularly. There's weird bits with ska and reggae for no reason which are great, and it's honestly just a fun time. Lyrically, it covers topics like celebrity lifestyle, anti-war environmentalism, and Dadaism. As you would expect, the production is good too, bringing out the content nice and smooth, with Rick Rubin again just being the absolute best at his job. And the band again just make everything work by the end, having fun and tearing it up across the way. My favourite song goes to BYOB. So, yeah, typical System of a Down awesome weirdos with more experimentation that goes a long way, all tied up rather satisfyingly by the end. And finally we reached the band's fifth and so far last album, Hypnotize. Released about 6 months after Mesmerize, it was released solely through Columbia Records this time, but it was produced by the same two people. And once again, I don't really have a lot for this one in the background. The band didn't really do a lot much in the time between because it was only a 6-month gap. In that case, I guess I'll just move on to the first song of this album, that song being titled Attack. Initially, the song wasn't going to start the album, but in live shows since, they've made references to the song that it was supposed to be, titled Heze, which translates to shake, I think. Either way, the album starts in typical System of a Down fashion, with more of the new take that was embraced on Mesmerize, with Darren being more front and centre. Musical work is again delightfully weird, even embracing some sort of prog elements at points, and the instrumental work really points to that heavily. Lyrically, it's more of the same stuff, themes of Dadaism, war, sex, and accidentally killing rabbits with cards. That's a thing that happened to Darren, I'm not kidding. And production-wise, it's the usual stuff, with the band having fun and sounding balanced and polished. The structure again jumps around a lot, being zany but still easy and entertaining to keep up with, which you would expect from any album by the band, and they themselves sound great here, as you would expect. My favourite song on this one goes to Holy Mountains. I don't have a lot to say for this one, but as far as I'm concerned, SOED have had a damn near flawless career, and I'm looking forward to what's next from them, especially if this stuff is anything to go by. So, that's it. The first episode of Season 6, it's in the bag and done, son. Now, I haven't fully arranged the rest of the seasons yet, but the next episode will likely be Slipknot, as requested by my friend Slim Jim Jimmy, aka TJ Black, aka the fucking bum, and there will be other stuff in the time between, obviously, so I'll see you a lot for what's next, which will probably be tonight, another PBW vs AVW stream, so that'll be for later, and I want to say thank you again to Kirby for making this request. This was a very fun episode to write, and I think it was a really good way to just start the season, so thank you very, very much, and thank you for being an awesome friend and an awesome boss to me. And as for everyone else, as always, thank you for watching, you're awesome, bye bye.